Now at 9, new developments in the Delphi murders case, when Richard Allen will be in court again.
The Israeli Defense Force has confirmed another airstrike, where it was and how U.S. officials are working to combat anti-Semitism and anti-Muslim threats.
New details in the main mass shootings, what warning signs of the accused shooter were discovered.
And one family is embroidering themselves into the business world. Take a look at how they're doing it.
And spooky cold all around, even with some snow showers. But how long will that stick around? All that and more in my full forecast.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening. Thanks for being with us. I'm Olivia Sloniker.
And I'm Camille Thompson. Today was a big change in our weather. I know walking out of my classrooms today, I was like, it is very cold.
I know, and the only thing I can think about is those poor kids going out trick-or-treating. I don't even know how they're lasting through that cold. A bunch of sweatpants underneath all their fairy costumes. It just has to be a sight. Ryan, what do you have? Let's take a look at that first look at weather.
I feel you on that big time. I'm wondering how much trick-or-treaters show up at my house. I'm about 4. I don't know, but look at all this snow. Nice rhyme right there. And it's spread about pretty much most of the map. It's kind of thinning out though. That's something I might want to point out there. But some of these snow showers, as you can see up north, are pretty heavy. And they'll be running into some cold air too. We're pretty well below freezing throughout the night, and that's going to be concerning even for tomorrow. Scrape some ice off the windows. So tricky trick-or-treating for at least the rest of the night. Feeling tropical? How about those warm temperatures I'll be talking about in my full forecast? And when the bottom falls out again. All that and more later on. Camille and Olivia, back to you.
Thank you, Ryan. It'll be another year until Richard Allen takes the stand again. His murder trial has been officially moved to next October. Allen appeared in court today for a hearing in the case against him for the 2017 murders of Libby German and Abby Williams, with new and old counsel. This following a hearing that only lasted about 3 minutes on October 19th with the verbal withdrawal of Allen's defense attorneys. Judge Francis Gull apologized to Allen today at today's trial for having to deny the request to have his former attorneys represent him. His new attorneys are Robert Scruman and William Labrada.
More than a dozen people were wounded in a shooting at a Halloween party in Chicago early Sunday morning. Authorities say a gunman fired into the crowd and then ran away. Officers quickly identified the alleged shooter and arrested 48-year-old William Groves nearby. He's since been charged with 15 counts of attempted murder. Police also recovered the gun.
He's a convicted felon who shouldn't have had a gun. Again, he's a convicted felon who should not have had a gun.
The victims include 6 women and 9 men between the ages of 26 and 53. 2 have critical injuries, and the shooter remains under investigation. New details in the case of Robert Card, the gunman accused of carrying out a mass shooting that left 18 people dead last week in May. New documents show police were asked to check on Card just weeks before last Wednesday's attacks in Lewiston. Now, it came after a fellow National Guardsman expressed concern that Card would, quote, snap and commit a mass shooting, end quote. At the time, Card was still a U.S. Army reservist who had reportedly been resistant to getting help in the past. The documents also detail concerns from family. In early May, Card's ex-wife and son went to the police to report their concern about his anger and paranoia. The reports also says Card's ex-wife said he had 10 to 15 handguns and rifles. When police spoke to the U.S. Army Reserve Command, they too said they were worried.
Former President Donald Trump has filed a lawsuit in Michigan to try and stop the effort to keep his name off the ballot in Michigan. An advocacy group there filed a lawsuit in September that cites the 14th Amendment to prevent Michigan's Secretary of State from putting Trump's name on the ballot. It's a long shot case because the Constitution doesn't outline how to enforce it. It's only been used twice since the 1800s. Trump's lawsuit claims Michigan's Secretary of State does not have the authority under state law to block him on 14th Amendment grounds. Similar disputes are underway in Colorado and Minnesota.
The Israeli military has confirmed that it was behind an airstrike on Gaza's largest refugee camp. The Israel Defense Forces say the airstrike targeted and killed a Hamas commander who they say was, quote, hiding behind civilians. However, Hamas has denied that the claims that one of its leaders was in the camp. Now, according to the UN, the Jabalia camp is the largest refugee camp in Gaza. According to the Hamas-controlled Ministry of Interior in Gaza, 20 homes were completely destroyed in the bombing. The head of the nearest hospital in Jabalia estimates that scores of people had been killed in the explosion. A disturbing and worrying episodes of anti-Semitic and anti-Muslim hate takes place in America, and the FBI director issued a stark warning, telling the nation the war in the Middle East could inspire extremists in the U.S. to carry out more attacks against Americans.
It's all happening against a backdrop of Jewish students fearful on college campus, with vandalism and violent rhetoric raising alarms from law enforcement. Mike Valerio has the latest.
A string of alarming hate incidents and a climate of fear emerging in America. A Virginia survivor of the Holocaust stunned.
When we said never again, it means never again, and we see it happening again.
Anti-Semitic threats, vandalism, and outbursts across the U.S. are now being reported. The FBI director and Secretary of Homeland Security both described new threats to the homeland since the latest war between Hamas and Israel began.
In the days and weeks since, we have responded to an increase in threats against Jewish, Muslim, and Arab American communities and institutions across our country.
The nation's largest Muslim civil rights group, CARE, reports a threefold increase in complaints about anti-Muslim violence. FBI Director Chris Wray warned the tense environment could lead to attacks at home.
Here in the United States, our most immediate concern is that violent extremists, individuals or small groups, will draw inspiration from the events in the Middle East to carry out attacks against Americans going about their daily lives.
At Cornell University, one person is in custody after online posts encouraged people to kill Jews and attack a dining hall for Jewish students.
My family last night, we had a discussion whether it's safe for me to be on campus or whether I should come back home.
New York's governor after meeting with students.
Some are fearful now of attending class or eating in the kosher dining hall. And I promised them that the state of New York would do everything in its power to protect them.
Concerns nationwide that vitriol may morph into unspeakable violence. I'm Mike Valerio reporting.
The Senate has confirmed former U.S. Treasury Secretary Jack Lew as the new ambassador to Israel. The Senate confirmed the 68-year-old Lew despite strong objections from Republicans. GOP members criticized the choice because of Lew's involvement with the Iran nuclear deal during the Obama administration. Ahead of today's confirmation vote, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer endorsed Lew. He said it was important to fill the vacancy amid the current conflict in Gaza between Israel and Hamas. Schumer said Lew has a proven record as a public servant and is a, quote, ferocious ally of Israel, end quote.
A possible deal is on the horizon to end the actors' strike. SAG-AFTRA and major studios have made significant progress in negotiating sessions. Now, according to people familiar with the matter, both sides have reached tentative understandings on key components of a potential deal. They say an agreement could be reached as early as this week or next week. Actors have been on strike for more than 100 days, pushing back film and television schedules. The use of artificial intelligence has been a sticking point during negotiations. Be prepared to pay more for health insurance this year, what those changes are.
And the Air Force has raised the age limit for recruits. All this and more after the break.
We know on Election Day, you want the results as soon as the polls close. That's why NewsLink Indiana is your source for this year's 2023 city elections.
Our team will be live on the ground and at the polls, getting you the most accurate and up-to-the-minute information.
So be sure to tune in Tuesday, November 7th at 9 as we bring you live election results.
That's right here on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
I don't think that many kids in my son's school even do it.
He makes fun of his friend who vapes.
He would never try it.
She's into soccer.
She's on the honor roll.
She's just not the type.
No way.
No way.
No way.
No way, my kid would never vape.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping. Maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Some families are stitched together through love and by design.
NewsLink Indiana's Grace Binkowski got a closer look at one family's business, Dream and Dilly Design and Graphics.
In 2021, I started thumbing around. I've always been a crafty person. I've sewed, I've crocheted, I've knitted my whole life. And I've always given handmade gifts.
Angie Fortivai, president and founder of Dream Dilly, started her home-based craft business at the height of the pandemic.
When COVID hit, we were bored to death, and I had been researching the Cricut machine for a long time, and I was always intimidated by it because I didn't get in that part of crafting.
Fortivai was able to get her first Cricut from a woman in Marion, which she said changed everything.
And we went and picked it up, and that changed just the whole dynamics of what I wanted to do, and I was like, I could probably do this for a living.
Quickly, she gained a customer base and gave her products as gifts. Fortivai knew she needed some extra hands, so she reached out to her in-laws.
Then these two young ladies came into the factor, Kaya and then Miss Kelsey, and then my sister-in-law as well. We just came together. That's where the 4 flowers come from on the Dream Dilly.
And the 4 flowers have been growing their business ever since.
Together we just come up with some fantastic designs, and we can really implement it on any substrate. It doesn't make a difference if we embroider it, if we vinyl it, if we put it together in a basket. The more of the challenge, the better. We've not found anything we can't conquer, really.
Fortivai says the family is looking to open an online storefront soon, but for now, you can find their gifts on Facebook, which include custom embroidery, vinyl work, tumblers, and more. In Eaton, Grace Binkowski, NewsLink, Indiana.
I love that.
Benefit consultants say while companies will pay the brunt of the increase, employees could end up paying much higher premiums for out-of-pocket costs for care. The average increase for 2024 are still unknown, but employee premiums increased an average of nearly 2% for this year, with employer costs rising an average of 4.5%. The out-of-pocket costs increased nearly 6%.
The Biden administration has introduced a proposed new rule aimed at making it easier for Americans to save for retirement and avoid junk fees. The rule would require financial professionals who sell retirement investments and advice to only do so in the best interests of their clients, not their own. Their own Congress and federal regulators have already have a fiduciary best interest rules in place to protect investors, but those rules do not cover all types of investment products and retirement saving transactions that retirement investors may be selling. Similar proposed rules have been in the past but have not stood up to legal challenges.
The United States Air Force and Space Force have raised the recruitment age limit. The age limit for new enlisted and officer recruits is now 42. The Air Force says it made the change because of a lack of applicants. This year's recruitment target was missed for the first time since 1999. The new age limit is predicted to bring in an additional 50 recruits per year.
Winter weather chilling out around here for a while, but is it gonna be here for too long? I have the full details on when a warm-up is coming in my full forecast after the break.
Dear moms and dads, what you have achieved here today is going to help us and our futures. It is why we are coming up on stage to collect your diplomas.
You know it's true.
Mom, we love you always.
Everything I do.
When you graduate, they graduate. Visit finishyourdiploma.org to find free and supportive adult education centers near you.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
When I was growing up, my mom was extremely tidy. We were trained to put things back where we got them from. One day, when I walked into my mom's house, I felt like I walked to someone else's house. There was stuff everywhere. And just growing up the way I grew up and to see this transition was very alarming.
When Sean talked to me, it was a wake-up call, and that's when I went to the doctor.
In the society that we were brought up in, it's very hard on little black boys. You have to navigate feelings and emotions so the world don't get you.
Sometimes when I cry, I won't know how I'm feeling or why I'm crying.
I just grew up never feeling like it was okay to cry.
Yeah.
And so he really forced me to have to reconnect with the kid that didn't get to cry.
That's beautiful.
We don't cry. We gon' take our piece of the
Welcome back. I'm NewsLink Indiana weather forecaster Ryan Hill with a look at your Tuesday evening weather picture, and spooky, scary skeletons send shivers down your spine. Well, the weather's doing that to you too. Look at that, 32 in Muncie, 30s nearly everywhere throughout our area, and that's all accompanied with snow showers. What? But yeah, they're going all throughout our area, all associated with an upper level low pressure system, a little bit of an Alberta clipper. You can actually see that spin right here. It's losing what looks like a little bit of moisture to it. So I'm thinking that we're gonna do pretty well. However, I wouldn't be shocked to see at least a few heavier snow showers here and there because it's still got a good amount of energy. Folks, the last time this happened, that was 2019. We got a trace of snow. Another time happened in 1993 where it happened just about everywhere in central Indiana. And looking at things tonight, well, maybe some areas like say around Indy could do pretty well. I've even actually seen a picture from my folks out in Noblesville. They've got a little bit of a touch of accumulation. So this time of year, that's kind of strange. And even some mulch, my assistant chief weather forecaster Oliver Moster talked about that. Not much falling for us, however, over the rest of the night, folks. This really thins out, and by the time we reach tomorrow morning, and throughout the rest of the day, actually, things clear out. So there's the going story for today. 27 under breezy snow showers. They're going to be very widespread. But if you do go under one, you could wind up seeing some slick roads. Gusty winds, definitely mandating the coat, and that's going to happen tomorrow. Scrape the ice off the windshields. Look at that temperature, 28 to start the day off with those 8 a.m. classes. But 44, 45, not too bad, but still very well below average for this time of year under still windy conditions. Don't lose the coat. But throughout the rest of this week, take a look at these warmer colors. That's a ridge of high pressure that's bumping into our area. Look at this, though. We've got a little bit of wave of low pressure working through the region towards the weekend with another bigger wave towards the end of next week, and that brings up that 7-day forecast. Look at those temperatures. Those are actually average for this time of year, Saturday, Sunday, even under some showers or so. That might find some breaks of sun. Some sun to talk about Thursday and Friday, but Monday and Tuesday, man, oh man, another big drop, folks, as we could see some 20s again in our area, spotting a little bit more long range. I would say Wednesday morning we could be seeing a low of 25 again. Oof, we'll have to keep a look on that, but oh my gosh. Are we ready to enjoy some average temperatures? I mean, it's seriously hard to think about having tropical beverages in the sun on the quad with this kind of weather, but talking those 60s.
And you know, in the quad, everything just looks so gorgeous. It's so pretty with all the leaves falling. Not so happy to hear about that snow, but we are looking forward to a little bit warmer temperatures. Thank you so much, Ryan. Now, we're going to go ahead. We're sending it over to Jake with a look at sports.
One Ball State athlete continues to rake in the hardware after the season, and another looks to get the year started. All this and more next in sports.
You've done the hard part. You quit smoking.
Now do the easy part and get scanned for lung cancer. If you smoked, you may still be at risk, but early detection could save your life. Talk to your doctor and learn more at savedbythescan.org.
If I could be you, and you could be me for just 1 hour. If we could find a way to get inside each other's minds. Walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a mile in my shoes. Well, before you abuse, criticize, and accuse. Walk a mile in my shoes.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
Touchdown! Oh, did you see that? Whoa, we scored? Yeah, we scored. We're going to the playoffs. I can't believe I missed that.
Every time I'm buzzed, I spend too much time on my phone.
What? I should take your phone away.
No. I'll call for a ride.
Hey, why does my face look like that? I'm playing with these new face filters. Okay, you know what? Yep, that's mine.
I'm gonna need that back.
No.
Kevin!
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Jake Garcia with sports. Even with the 2023 season officially over for Ball State soccer, junior forward Lexi Fraley earns MAC yearly awards. The junior becomes the first player in program history to receive MAC Offensive Player of the Year honors. Along with the award, Fraley also earns a nod to the All-MAC first team for second consecutive year. Ball State women's basketball has a lot to top after last year's 26-9 record. With the upcoming season right around the corner, NewsLink Indiana's Dylan Selke has a preview on what's to come.
The season opener is on the horizon for Ball State women's basketball, and expectations are higher than ever, reflecting on last year's performance.
Well, anytime you win 26, you've had a pretty good year. Fell a little bit short of what we wanted to do, which was win that tournament and get to the NCAA tournament, but it doesn't take anything away from the year.
After a long offseason, the Cardinals are excited for opening night next week.
I feel like this offseason has felt like we haven't played in so long, so I think just getting back into it, getting back into games and rolling with the squad is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's ready to go. I think it's been a long preseason. You know, everyone's waiting for those first games to come in, and so we're excited, we're ready for something different.
As the season inches closer, the Cards are ready to show the Nest the improvements they've made during the offseason.
So I think from top to bottom, we've seen the improvements we wanted to see. Now we've got to go apply it at game speed on game day.
This squad knows what they're capable of, and now it's time to prove themselves as goals are being set.
NCAA tournament. This team deserves to be in it. They're going to be good enough to be in it. We've got to do what it takes to get in it.
At the end of the day, there can only be one champion, and Coach Salee isn't shy about the confidence he has in his group.
Absolutely, no question in my mind.
Ball State women's basketball wants you to pack the Nest in Worthen Arena for the start of the season, Monday, November 6th, when they take on Tennessee Tech. In Muncie, Dylan Selke, NewsLink, Indiana.
For that first game of the regular season, Ball State women's basketball will take on Trine University Thunder tomorrow at home for an exhibition game. The Cardinals will hit the floor to tip off the 2023-24 season as they meet the Thunder for the first time in program history. This season will mark Coach Sally's 12th year at the helm as 10 Cardinals return to the floor as well. The matchup is set to tip off at 6:30 p.m. in Worthen Arena. And as women's basketball starts their year off, the football season is winding down as Ball State football travels to Bowling Green tomorrow night to begin midweek action. The Cardinals head into this one just 2-6 on the year and 1-3 in the MAC, but are also riding high off a big home win over Central Michigan for homecoming. On the opposing sidelines, the Falcons sit at just 4-4 on the season with a 2-2 record in the MAC. The Cardinals and new starting QB Kyle Kelly hope to keep flying high with kickoff set for 7 p.m. And women's basketball obviously looking to keep the momentum from last season going into this season, and they're really looking to be improved from that 26-9 record.
Absolutely. You don't even know how excited I am about this new season. I'm obsessed with women's basketball. I go to just about every single one of the games. Oh my gosh, this season's going to be amazing.
I'm excited to go to my first college basketball game. I feel like it's going to be real interesting because I haven't actually been able to make it to any sports events, but I know now that it's a little bit cold, it'll be good to do.
You are in for a treat. Thank you so much, Jake. Tonight is the premiere of Ball State Rocky Horror. Hear from some of the cast.
And we will have one final check at weather after the break.
We're all just trying to keep things running for those who rely on us. That's why we don't have time to be sick with the flu.
We don't have time for delays.
We don't have time for spills.
Next.
We don't have time for setbacks.
Let's be real.
Getting the flu shot
helps you fight the flu.
Get a flu shot for yourself and those around you too.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. And she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
Regardless of where you are on your path to retirement, you can still take charge of your financial future today. Visit aceyourretirement.org and answer a few questions from Alvo, your friendly digital retirement coach, for free tips, resources, and advice customized for your situation to help you feel confident and prepared for retirement. Retirement looks different for everyone. Make sure you're prepared for your financial future at aceyourretirement.org.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We are just about 3 hours away from the performance of Ball State's annual Rocky Horror Picture Show Shadowcast.
NewsLink Indiana's Abby Urban has a closer look.
It's time to do the time warp again. In honor of Halloween, BSU Rocky Horror Picture Show Club is putting on its annual Shadowcast tonight in Emmons Auditorium. A Shadowcast is when a group of people performs a movie in front of a screen while the movie is playing and they pantomime it.
I think the message of Rocky Horror is to really be yourself and be unapologetically you, despite what anyone else thinks. I think it's about letting yourself have fun while you can.
For their production of Rocky Horror, BSU Rocky Horror Picture Show goes all out with costumes, set pieces, props, and most importantly, audience participation.
The very first night is just pure raw audience interaction and pure raw acting up on stage.
Doors open tonight at 10:30 with the pre-show starting at 11:30 and the show following at midnight.
Like, we're growing into ourselves, so if we learn to be ourselves and just have fun, then our lives will be so much better.
In Muncie, Abby Urban, NewsLink, Indiana.
Now, as always, that is going to be a blast. Are you going tonight?
I am going tonight. I plan on going with a couple of friends. I feel like it'll be a good experience as a freshman, since I have not seen a show that is being projected like that. So
and thank goodness it's inside. That cold weather is not looking too favorable. Let's go ahead and check it out. Weather one last time with Ryan.
Well, definitely a great time to have a blast indoors, but we're going to do the time warp back to where we usually are, 50s and 60s by the time we reach our end of the week, before we get those temperatures knocked down again and feel like December all over again. Crazy weather in Indiana around this time of year, yeah?
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ryan. That's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night, everybody.